Hello, everyone. Welcome in. I am Boss Lady B, and I'm your resident eco addict. I absolutely adore this game, and I noticed that there weren't a ton of tutorials out there. So I started doing tutorials just because I wanted to help people who are trying to figure out the game, make it a little bit easier. So today, by request from someone on the server I'm playing on, we are going to do a trading tutorial. Okay, right? Seems pretty straightforward, but it gets sort of complex. So I want to say right off the bat that you are going to want to take all of this with a grain of salt. I'm going to explain how the system works, and then I am going to show you a couple different examples across the server, and then we are going to do a trading route, okay? So setting up your store is very important on servers that have economies. And what I'm going to go over is the basics of supply and demand and how to price things. That's going to be the first part of this, so stick with me for that. And then at the second part, we're going to talk about how to look at the server's economy, maybe some thinking about how to figure out what you want to go get and where you want to take it. And then we are just going to do that at the end. So we're going to get the biggest, most important information done right now, and then we are going to do the more time consuming things later. So I want to be respectful of your time. Now, the way that this works is you have what you're selling and you have what you're buying. So if you are selling, this is Espresso Stout's store. So this is a mining store. So the products that they're turning out are mined mortared products. The things they are looking to buy are tools and materials that they need to make things. They could have here purchasing stone itself, which would be great, but since they're a miner, they get most of their own stone. So that's a neither here nor there. But you can see here's all the different products that they output, basically stone, crushed ore, crushed other stuff, concentrate, I should say, concentrate and crushed coal. And then as you get further up, more sort of complex items. So this is a good example. If you are buying, coal for 10 cents a piece, you want to make sure that your crushed coal is being sold for an appropriate price. So it looks like 5 coal goes into 1 crushed coal, and that's how it's been priced out. So, how do you set your prices? This is the biggest question I think anybody asks on a server. So, if you're the first one, well, the only way that you can really figure that out is have your own equation. So there is a tool called Eco Calculator, and you can use calories as your basis for pricing things, but it really has to do with the global economy. If you're not the first one to put a price, it's really easy. You look at what other people are charging, you decide whether you want to charge exactly the same, whether you want to undercut that price a little bit, or whether you want to charge more. So let's use a pretty decently common example. Let's look at the crushed coal. So when you hover over the crushed coal, you'll see where you're able to buy it and where you're able to sell it, okay? So you can see you could buy it for 5 cents and you could sell it for 60 cents. So this might be actually a really interesting combination. So I see that you can buy it here for 50 cents, but there's somewhere you can buy it for 5 cents. That's pretty crazy, right? So, understanding that there are differences in prices, if you're setting the price, you may want to look at what people are willing to buy it for. So in this case, someone's willing to buy it for 60 cents. Espresso Stout has undercut that by 10 cents. So they're selling for 10 cents, which means someone could make 10 cents per crushed coal if they wanted to take it from Espresso Stout store to the Masonic Temple. So that's sort of, smart pricing, right? You're going a little bit lower on the sell so that it could sell for that, right? But if you're competing up against the 5 cents, then, you're going to want to buy from the 5 cents. So it is what it is on that front. So let's go upstairs so that you can see my farm stand. My farm stand is by no means beautifully done. I've sort of thrown it together. It's a work in progress. I am the gatherer and farmer on this server at this stage, so I have a little farm stand, right? Now, I'm going to preface this by I could specialize in just the crops that I am able to grow in this biome, which is like ferns, huckleberries, pumpkins, camas, trillium, and beans and mushrooms. And I could just do those specific crops and just farm those and just have those in my farm stand. However, I'm an overachiever and I like to wander to gather, and that's where I started my profession. So I have every single crop, and I just went through, it took a lot of time, but I went through and I put them all in here and priced them all out. So I'm going to talk about how I price these so that you can get a sense of my thinking with this. And then, again, you can either price it out based on calories or you can price it out on based on market demand. Let's talk about it. So there are certain things that you can easily access over and over and over again. So things like the huckleberries, things like the tomatoes, usually these can go for a lot cheaper. So let's look at what people are selling for. 2 cents, 5 cents, 3 cents. So I'm somewhere in the range. I'm a little bit more on the expensive side. So now that there's a lot of people selling these things, I might drop my price a little bit so that people are more likely to buy from me, but that's neither here nor there. Let's look at what people are buying them for. So a lot of people are buying them for like 10 cents. 30 cents. So these are all buying for a lot more than people are selling for. So that's really good to see. I would say this is going to be your cheapest product. Then we've got things like pineapples, agave. There's a couple things that I feel like they take a lot longer to grow. You don't get as many for them. So for example, with the pineapples, you only get 1 pineapple per plant, and it takes a long time. It takes about 24 hours for them to grow. So pineapples are sort of one that I feel like is a little bit more expensive, which is why I put it for 10 cents a pop. Just that's sort of my logic on that one. Grains can usually go down to a cent per, but as you can see, there's some people selling these for a lot. So actually, I'm selling my wheat probably too cheap. You see, there's someone else selling it for 10 cents a pop. I'm selling for 2 cents a pop. So maybe let's make this 5 cents, okay? So that people can come, they can buy wheat, da 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 da. All right. Now, I am buying things like dirt. I'm buying things like boards. Now, the dirt is free, but people are just getting rid of it. And then I have all these seeds so that if people are just picking up seeds and they're not a farmer, they don't want to use them, they can just throw them in here. This is basically like a donation tab that if people would like to just donate. Now, here's a silly thing, and I know this probably drives people crazy, but I put a wish list. So I did this because I didn't want to have to think through what I needed more than once. So of course I'm going to want a steam tractor at some point, but nobody's made them. So there's no price attached to them yet. And I don't want to be the first person to throw a price out there. So I just put these in here so that when a price does get attached to this, I can then move them up to the top right here into please and thank you, which is like, I really, 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 really would like a good tool. And it looks like there's some people selling them now. So this is a big one where I think it's important to, make sure that you're buying certain things so that people have some stuff to sell to you so that they can, again, not just be giving you money, they can also be making money. All right, so let's go up to my neighbor's place up here and take a look at their store. So I'm just going to give you a couple different stores so that you can see how different people have done it. There's no right or wrong way to set up how your store is organized. Now, this person is sort of a carpenter, I think. So they're selling a lot of the different crafting tables, like the pottery table, the farming table, butchery table, fletching, the shipyard, different things like that, tiki torches, wood molds, household items. But you can see they're not sort of grouped together. I think they're newer to the game, so they're not, you can drag and organize these if you want. And then over on their wanted side, the wanted side's pretty organized. They have tools up top. They really want tools. They've got some things that they're buying. So these are like food items that they buy, which I, of course, love to sell to them. And then it looks like they're getting ready to make lumber. So they're starting to buy stuff for lumber and to make silos. So this could all be grouped together. It could, but it doesn't need to be. Um, and then I'm going to show you two of the server owners stores so that you can get a sense of it. Don't worry about all the random stuff on the ground. Cobalt is just making compost. It freaked me out when I saw this. It looked like someone had attacked his place, but no, it's just he's making compost. So let's start over here with this particular store. He has two storefronts, which once you start to get more complex, it's really nice for people who are buying and selling from you to do this, to start to break it down into smaller chunks. So say I am just mining and I have granite or sandstone or limestone, I can just sell that to him. He is a mason, so he can take that and he can turn that into look at him running back and forth. Mortared sandstone, mortared granite, mortared limestone, mortared, stone. So when we were starting this server, what was really great is I could come over, I could sell him a bunch of granite and maybe even some mortar I'd made on the campfire. And then he had some crafting orders set up so that they were being automatically made. I'd bring over a wheelbarrow full of granite and then however long later, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I could come back and get the mortared stone. So that's a really great way to set it up. If you have the ingredients, they can sell to you and then they can buy the finished product. It makes it really easy with the crafting on that front. So then let's go take a look at another example of how that works over here at B12's place, because she's the cook and this is a really important job, and it can get overwhelming because there's a lot of different things that you can cook. And the last server I was on, they wanted me to cook everything instead of doing exactly what B12 did here, which is she has a big sign out front that tells you what's queued. These are the active recipes that if you bring the raw materials, it will output more of these. So this is really cool and really important to have this set up. So we know if she has nothing for sale, no food, we could bring her raw sausage, we could bring her raw roast, and we could bring her any kind of grain, and it would be cooking and we would have calories. So, oh, look at her. Look at these. Look, aren't they cute? Oh my goodness. This is amazing. I love her artwork here. So on the left here, we're going to look at how to set this up again. So this is really easy. There are only a certain number of raw ingredients that she is buying, because these are the ingredients that go into the recipes she's selling. So keeping it simple, keeping it easy for people to understand, setting it to quantities that aren't going to bankrupt her completely is also very, very important. And then making sure to price what you're selling it for. So down here we have the different raw meats, and you can literally see it outputs into the cook meats. So 1-to-1, really easy. Ta-da! Right? And then we have down below right here, these are all the non-specialized cooking. So this is all stuff you can make on your campfire cooking without any specialty down here. So she's got all these cooking. And then here is all the foods that once you do have campfire cooking that you can make. So this I would call your tier 1 food, and this is your tier 0 food. They've shifted some things around, which we'll have to go back and talk about cooking again. But then once you get to your tier 2 foods, you have your cooking. Like you have to have the cooking specialty, you have to have a tier 2 building, you have to have a cast iron stove, and you get things like the basic salad, you get the fruit salad, and you get the autumn stew. So I like basic salad, so I'm going to buy one of those real quick. Now, this is where I want to talk about I want to preface this because I'm about to teach you the dark arts of trading. Okay, so if you've made it this far into the video, I'm about to give you the juicy details, but I have to also assuage my guilt because I want you to do this responsibly and not be the person on the server that bankrupts everyone. We've had this on some servers I've hosted, and it is the worst. So please don't be that person that bankrupts your fellow citizens of Eco. trade responsibly. So let's talk about this little bit down here at the bottom. We have what my bank account is, which is I almost have 500 pebbles. That's a lot. We started out with 300, so I've almost doubled my net worth. But what that means is that I've taken it away from other people. Okay, so we're going to be trading around, and the whole point of an economy and a currency is to keep that money moving. So the minute you opt into an economy, it is your responsibility to both keep yourself above board and to make sure that you're not bankrupting your fellow citizens. B12 has only 141 pebbles, which means I should be buying more stuff from her than I'm selling to her. So, as a farmer, I am interacting with B12 store a lot because she's a cook. So, my product goes directly to her. And if I was sort of selfish, I would just be selling to her and not buying from her. And that would be irresponsible because then she would just slowly bleed dry of all of her currency. And in the end, it wouldn't be good for either of us because then she wouldn't have any money to purchase my goods with. So it behooves me to purchase items from her every time I'm here so that I can make sure that she stays above board and that I'm able to keep going. And so we're just going to quickly buy a little bit of food because everybody needs food. I burn through calories like crazy. So I'm going to spend about 13, pebbles here to buy some food, which isn't going to make a huge difference, but it is going to at least make me feel a little bit less guilty. But it's not, I haven't made all my money off of B12, and that's important. Definitely, if you are trading, make sure you try and trade somewhat around at different shops so that you're not just going for one. We have our engineer here, so you can take a look at their store. They're buying wooden hull planks, hewn logs, and they're outputting all this other good stuff. Usually what I see with a engineer is that they buy cloth and this and that, but because these guys are all here in town, they don't have a lot of buy orders, which is interesting. So it's a little bit different. It looks like, oh my goodness, she's completely taken down her shop right now. All right, well, we'll come back later. She's our tailor and everything. So now we are going to talk about the dark arts. I promised you I would teach you the dark ways. And oh, here we go. Here we go. This is the part that's really important. And if you do it well, you will be everybody's best friend on the server. And if you don't, everybody will hate you. Okay, are you ready for this? So you press Y. This is very important. This shows you all the things that are for sale and to buy. And if you need anything, if you need something for a recipe, say, I need raw fish. I can see who is selling it and how much they are selling, and then I can see where they are by clicking on them. And then now I know that this person is right next door to me. And actually, let's see, is she buying? Yes. Okay. Let's make sure. All right, so I'm going to do this just for a quick example. So we've got raw fish right here, and the raw fish is being sold for 30 cents and it's being bought for 20 cents. So unfortunately, this is not a good deal. We are not going to purchase this fish to sell to B12 store because we would be losing out on a decent amount, 10 cents per unit. So that's not something we want to do, right? But this person, whoever they are, could take the fish that they're just producing on their own and go sell it to B12, and it would be a profit for them. So I'm going to showcase a trade so that you can see how I do this. Again, I'm teaching you the dark arts. So we are going to look at geology papers. So everybody needs geology papers for the upgrades, for research, for this and that. So geology papers are made by miners. So people with the mining specialty will be selling these. And I noticed something really interesting when I was starting to do this tutorial, which is that someone on the server has almost 300 geology papers and they're selling them for 25 cents a pop. Now, I know from experience, BMO is one of the regulars, sort of the server owner, establishing person, and they went hard on their specialty. They mined a ton. They had other people there mining, so they're probably condensing down their stockpiles into geology papers is probably helping them save space. So they have a lot, and that therefore they're able to price it really, really cheap because they have a lot of stuff there. And so we're seeing that they're selling them for 25 a pop. Other people are selling it from anywhere from $2, $10, $5. So it seems like if you averaged all these prices out, maybe the $5 or $3 would be about where you'd want to price it. But we are going to go to BMO's Hard as a Rock down here. But first, I'm going to go get my canoe because we need to get it. So we're going to go to BMO's and we're going to go get the papers from BMO. And I guess I should explain this before we start out on this journey. The reason is, look at the people that are buying geology papers right now. We have someone that wants 9, we have someone that wants 3, and someone that wants 2. We have 5 and 9. That's 14 papers that people want. And they are buying for a ton more money than BMO's selling for. Okay, so this is how you can sort of see whether it's worth it and whether you want to take your time to transfer goods. Now, if you're just doing this sort of out of the goodness of your heart or to supply someone, you might want to look at, for example, B12s, where it's like, oh, she needs raw fish. You just go source raw fish. So you can sort of decide based on who you want to be supporting, which might be, oh, I need mortared stone for my housing project. So I'm going to go out of my way to go find someone who sells stone to bring it here so that this mortared stone can happen. So that's probably going to be the main reason that you're going to be trading or trucking, is that sort of thing. And then the just trading for the sake of trading, again, it's kind of fun. It's kind of a good way to get around on the server. What I do as the farmer is I look at what I have. Like, okay, I have papayas. I already did my run today, so I'm not going to do a second run. But I look at, okay, I've got papayas. Who's buying papayas? Are they nearby? And I sort of figure out where everybody is. And then I go, okay, well, you know, Mad Genius needs 100 papayas. So let's take 100 papayas with us on this little trip. We're going to put the salad in here. I want to make sure that I have enough food for this trip too, because we're going to be in a canoe. So, all right, we've got enough. So we're going to take 100 papayas with us, but I would go down through the list of things that I have in large quantities, such as tomatoes. Actually, let's see. Does anybody want tomatoes by price? Let's take a look. I think Mad Genius also would like 13 tomatoes. That's not enough. That's not enough to really make it worth it, but I guess we could pick like 13 tomatoes. we'll just take enough to fill an order over there. All right. So as the farmer, I would suggest sticking with your profession, saying, okay, I'm going to go around and deliver to a bunch of people instead of expecting people to come to your store and buy from you. So delivery is going to be the best option if there are people with buy orders for your stuff. If not, that means you have to wait until other people are around. So I'm actually going to pick up all the, wait, what? No, I would like to put that in. Oh, wait, no, that is the right canoe, right? Yeah, that's the small canoe. Sorry. I'm going to pick up the canoe and I'm going to run. There we go. I'm going to run down to BMO's place and then we will canoe over to the other location. So if you are going to be trading for a profit purposely, I would say do that because you are low on income yourself and you are needing an infusion of cash. I wouldn't do this just to make yourself the wealthiest person on the server. And honestly, this might be my own sort of worry, but I'm purposely trying to keep my own currency somewhere in the middle of everyone else's. I don't want to be the richest. I don't want to be the poorest. I want to be somewhere in the middle. And that way, at least I know I'm buying and selling things and helping people out. instead of just being sort of a hog of materials and I'm helping, because it's nice to help out. So like this person isn't buying or selling anything yet. They seem sort of newer. We'll continue along. So let me know what you think. How do you, because everybody does things differently, how do you sort of keep track of your buying and selling habits? Do you have any sort of practices that you do? Let's see, what does this say? Road material, feel free to use to better our streets. Please, no reselling. Ah, okay. So is this where our geology papers are found? Is this BMO's? No, this is Jack's place. Ah, this is Jack's place. Jack is so cool. So let's go. We're not quite to BMO's place yet. All right, let's find BMO's place is this way. Now, here's another important thing that if you are using the Y, all right, let's go back to geology papers. You can look at where someone's store is, you click on it, and it centers the map on their store. So if you're trying to figure out where it is, you're not sure, do that, and then you know, haha, we're going to Jack's store, so we're going over this way. It's the blue one, so it's somewhere here. Somewhere here is Jack's store. Oh my goodness, look at this. Is why they are able to sell for a fraction of the price. They've got a large lumber stockpile. They've got the industrial screen. Oh my goodness, they're doing so good. They've got the crush stamp mills. Yeah, they are very, 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 very awesome right now. So we are going to buy. We needed 20. What did we say? Let's see. Let's take a look. Wanted. There are 9. We needed 24 or 14. 14, sorry. 14. So we need 14 of these. Let's buy 20. Because who knows, you know, we might need some for our own projects. It's all good. So let's buy 20 of these, right? Now we've got the 20 papers. Perfect. Let's go look at where we are going to be dropping these off. So 20 papers. We've got Wind Fox's store, which is here. So zooming out, it is to the southeast of here. Then we have Shield and Sword, which is to the south. So we're going to go south. And then the other one's over here. And then we have Mad Genius's store, which is here. So we're literally going to go south, hit this spot, and hit this spot. So let's get the canoe in the water. This is why I just picked it up so that we could easily plop it in the water, not have to paddle down the coast. And let's go. Oop. Now, if you really, really, really wanted to get like overthinking it, you could look at other products that each of the stores sell. So you could look at Mr. BMO's store, a bunch of other things that he's selling, and figure out if there's other people over here that need those so that you can make the trip more efficient, because it takes time, it takes calories to canoe around the planet. So it is, you know, it'd be good to sort of bundle things together. But since this is just a tutorial and I want to showcase it real quick, we're just going to do this super, super quickly. So I'm actually going to pause and come back once we get to the location so that I'm not eating up your time just seeing me canoe my way around the ocean. All right, so we're approaching the store. Let's see. Is this a store? Is this just a shop? We shall see. Because I have this in my inventory, it's not a big deal. But I want to make sure that we get everything here. So they are buying. Let's find where they're buying. Oh, geology research, no more wanted. So it looks like we got here a little bit too late, and now there's not that much that wants it. So now we're going to go and sell at Mad Genius's store because this person's order was satisfied already. So there is a little bit of risk to purchasing items. So don't bankrupt yourself in purchasing something you're trading, because especially on a server this size, you might find that someone gets there before you. So definitely do be cautious. Let's take a look and see what's going on here, because it did say that this spot was buying. So is there a different store here? Maybe let's poke around, see if there's another store. Is there another store somewhere here? Yeah, interesting. Oh, that's the advanced. Oh, I'm silly. Where's... Ah, okay, that's maybe the issue? Huh. Weird. Geology Research Modern. Ah, that's it. That's it. It's the upper level of geology research. So hovering over, we can see that there's 9 wanted. Okay, that makes more sense. So we only have 1 spot to go sell to, but that's fine. We brought some papayas with us. Again, this is why bringing some things that you make yourself is also the way to go, because if you're just making deliveries, you're not sort of putting yourself out for a product. So anyway, that was my misreading, but hopefully you can learn from that, which means, you know, basically make sure that these papers are the basics versus the... So I might want to put geology basic. Whoops. Geology research base paper basic. So that narrows it down, right? That narrows it down to 9 wanted, by price 5. So you live, you learn, and it all works out in the end. However, this is what we do. So I, for example, was looking earlier for ship hulls because I needed to make the upgrade 2s, and I was looking for who was selling ship hulls. There was only 1 person on the server selling ship hulls, which, mind you, if you're the person selling ship hulls, you are now cornering the market, and you have a good chance to make some decent coin on that. Also, if you see only 1 person selling them and you happen to be closer to the town center and you want to sell ship hulls as well, that might be a good idea. Now, I don't know about this server's sort of protocol on people buying and reselling. I think that's sort of a little bit of a gauche thing to do. You don't really want to go around and purchase things and then sell them yourself. But I mean, to some extent, maybe it would make sense to have like a little shop downtown and have some items that only people really far away have. Yeah. I don't know. I would be a little bit skeptical on that one. Now let's see. Is there anybody buying? Oh, they are selling for less than people are buying. So that's a no. Anybody buying cooking scrolls? Nope. Right. Let's see what types of food these guys got. Let's do... Wait, which one has the best fat? And let's do that one. Let's get maybe 5. Do we remember how much we just made? We made about 10. So yeah, that makes sense. So again, I'm here and I sold, you know, 100 papayas to the person, right? And I'm buying something back so that I'm not just, you know, one directionally making money off of their store. Now let's double check that this is where we're headed. Give it a second. Oh no, this is where we're selling them. So let's take a look. Where are we selling these? There we go. So we're gonna sell 9 of these. Ta-da! And that's 45 bucks, y'all. 45 bucks. That's a lot of pebbles. So 45. All right, remember that. So actually, instead of just selling, let's take a minute. Let's look at what they have here and what we could use. and anything that might be worth taking, taking back with us. So we have some campfire roasts that are being sold for 30 cents a pop. This person is, where are they? Oh, they're located up there. No, that's in the middle of nowhere. Let's see. Meaty stew. We thought the meaty stew was pretty good. So let's get another 10 meaty stews. And we're gonna try and balance this out a little bit. Now, I don't have a lot of carry capacity, so it's not like I could do a crazy amount. I don't think I've ever tried a fried tomato, so let's just add one to our buy order. I do know that my character loves fern campfire salads, so let's get 10 of those, add to cart. So you see how this is working? You see I'm starting to, I am going to make 33 bucks, but I'm not going to make, crazy amounts more than that. We may not have enough carry capacity for all of this, so I may need to bring the boat nearby. So let's trade so I can see. Okay, yeah, I had enough carry capacity. Let's eat the fried tomato. Check it out. And I don't really need that much more food. So, culinary papers buying for 7,777. Yeah, it's just not worth it to take that with us. I was gonna try. Oh, hey, there's Irv. Hi, Irv. Irv is from my previous server that we ran and joined in on this one because we were going to do sort of our own server, and then I got on this one, and yeah, so anyway. So that is the trade route, basically, where we're at, because nobody else is buying these geology papers because we misread that, so that's fine. Let's see. Where's Windfox's stores? Over there. Okay, so Windfox is buying charred fish on this island? Let's take a look. How much is it being sold for? No, it would be sold at a loss. Ah, that's a bummer. That's a real bummer. Windfox is only buying for a cent. They're being sold for 20 cents here, so that's a loss. Is anybody else buying charred meat? So it's being sold at 20 cents. So ore miner might be a good one to sell to, but not. So okay, I think let's end there because that is self-explanatory. I think we did enough to showcase how you can trade. So I could fill up my canoe with things from this community because this community is sort of its own little isolated unit. So I could find things over here that maybe are selling for a lot cheaper and take them back to the main city. So this is just sort of how economics works, right? You find where people need things, where people are selling things, and then go from there. So again, it's a big long video, but hopefully if you've made it to this point, you now understand the dark arts of making money in eco. Don't let your capitalism override your kindness to your fellow citizens. Make sure you leave money in their accounts at the end of the day. And we'll be back with some updated tutorials on cooking and farming. Farming's still pretty much the same, but cooking has shifted a little bit. And we'll continue to make some content and hopefully share it with everybody here on the Eco YouTube world.